6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, good morning, every wonderful people out there. Good morning to my drivers. Guys, I'm looking for some people to be on video today. Today's a video day today. So if you're decent, you come on video. I want to see some shining faces today. Facebook. I got Facebook over here. I'm looking at them over here. Facebook. Good morning to you all. Guys, how many of you, it was a little bit, put a 7 in the chat, put a 7 in the chat. Was it a little bit easier for you to get on the screen? Was it easier for you to log in? Put a 7 today. If it was pretty simple for you, just had to click on the link and you just got in. Put a 7 in the chat. This is important. I need to know this because we're testing something right here. Put a 7 in the chat. If it was much easier, you liked it. It was much smoother. I didn't have to like give my firstborn child. Like I didn't have to do a blood sample. Like how many of you found it easier to be able to do that? All right, Jay, got a lot of 7s. We are thinking about just making it a simple link all, and we're going to put something in the calendar just to make it easy so you get reminders. How many of you would just like a calendar reminder? Put a 9 in the chat if you're like, damn, if I could just get a calendar reminder at 8:10 to know this is on. How many of you would like that? Put a 9 in the chat. Put a 9 in the chat if you like a calendar reminder. Jay's cringing right now. She's like, that means I'm going to have to do something. You want to know why my VAs are cringing right now as well, all? Because they're going to be speaking later today. They are going to be talking. So stay with us through the entire show today because they are going to be talking today. They have been paranoid. They have been like, Coach, sir, can you please, what are you going to ask us? What are you going to? I'm like, I don't know yet. But I am in my countdown all going to the Philippines. Literally in less than 2 weeks, I will be there. I can't wait to see them. I've never in person met them. Jay just celebrated, her and I celebrated 3 years together, all 3 years together. I'm blessed and fortunate. I have 5 VAs that work for me and my team, and we are a family, and I cannot wait to meet them and see them face to face. So my name's Coach Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a DAD. And I don't really have too many DAD stories. I'm going to share with you. I'm telling you all, you're going to want to write notes down today. You're going to want to write notes down today. And then I'm going to go back into my affirmation. But today's topic is waiting is part of the creating. I always like rhyming words too. Waiting is part of the creating. Shout out to Devin. She's up early. She's over there in West Coast time. Shout out to my West Coast people out there too. Okay. I also wrote this down here in my notes. For those of you taking notes, I'm just telling you this segment here made a huge difference in my life. I wrote down, trust the process while you're growing through the progress. Trust the process while you're growing through the progress. Now, I wore my shirt for this because obviously I knew what I was going to talk about. So I had to wear my shirt, trust the process today. Christian told me I should wear it. So I said, Christian, I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it, Christian. And I just am very, as a dad this past weekend, shout out to Chad Free. Put a 3 in the chat. How great was Chad Free's message yesterday? Put a 3 in the chat. If Chad Free, shout out to you, brother. What a great message. If you didn't get to listen to that, you need to go to my YouTube channel, Brock Zevan's YouTube channel, and go look at it. I think we also put it on my mindset page, Jay, when everybody gets done putting 3s in the chat. Like I was driving Bryce, and when he says like, when was the last time you reflected and thought about yourself and direction and everything? I'm like, oh my God, is he talking to me right now? Like I just did that 2 days ago. I was like, the alignment was so amazing with him. So great message Chad Free had yesterday that I go back and listen to it. So before we get into our show today, I got to narrow it down because I got to leave some time for my wonderful, beautiful ladies, Jay and Rica. And I'm going to ask them a couple questions. And I'm going to be asking you all to do us a favor as you hear their message today, and something that I want to do for them and for something that is important to them later on today here at the very end. So let's do our affirmation as we like to do. While we're doing our affirmation, you find the unmute button, and over there in Facebook, you find the unmute button as well. I want you to find it. Now, my Facebook, you guys can't see it, so you just have to, lip read it over here. One of the benefits of being on Zoom. So on the count of three, we're all going to unmute. We're all going to say it together with conviction, with confidence, knowing that God is working through us. On the count of three, 1, 2, and 3. Something
Something
good
good is happening to me. Something good is happening through me.
All right. I don't know if that really, I didn't really feel it. Jay, we got to do it again. I don't think people really meant it to, like, normally I hear it and it's like complete, like I have to lower my volume. I don't really feel that we all feel that today. So I'm going to ask everybody, and now Facebook, you can see it again. Now you can hear it. I want all of us to say it, really mean it, that God is working through you today in some capacity, in some way, that he is going to do something good to you and through you. So on the count of three, let's say it again. 1, 2, and 3.
Something good is going to happen to me. Something good is going to happen through me.
Ah, so much better. So much better on that one. Sometimes we just got to warm up to it. We got to warm up to it, right, Justine? Justine is traveling over to Greenville. Where's Paul? Paul, they got another further together in Greenville. So, guys, I got 10 points I want to share with you today in reference to waiting is creating. How many of you want things right now? Put a 5 in the chat. How many of you want things right now? I wanted it yesterday. Why is it taking so long? Just put a 5 in the chat if it's just like it is all you can do to have the patience that like you need to be able to get you from point A to point B, as Chad talked about yesterday. How many of you? I'm tired of waiting. How much longer? When is it going to get here? When am I going to arrive? How many? Just so I can get a sense to see if I'm not the only crazy lunatic out there that is struggling with patience, because I want things constantly, all the time. And I got 10 things I'm going to share with you in this message about waiting is creating and the importance of it and understanding it. Now, I have a personal story with it. Can't make this up. Oh, you guys all know this. Can't make this up. And I said, Jarek, I said this. I went to go pick up Riel before we went to the mountains on Friday. So I picked her up from school, and I have to go into the school, and I get into the school, and I kind of can see there seems to be a little bit of like, everybody seems to be a little uneasy, Diane. It's like there was something going on. I really couldn't make it out quite yet. So some of you will find this very comical knowing me. So as I get in there, I go to the attendance lady and I go to the lady. I said, I'm here to get Brock Zevan. Okay, just bear with us right now. We're having some difficulty with our computer system and everything else. And for those of you, I was assistant principal. So like when I taught school for 12 years, and we have these infamous black walkie-talkie that like everybody has to have, and everybody goes through the walkie-talkie. And it was just like complete chaos on the walkie-talkie. And I finally just listening in, number 5, empathetic ears, empathetic listening. I was just doing some listening, and I've come to realize the school lost internet. The entire school lost internet. Okay. Now, think about this in your workplace. Just think about this. When I talk about waiting is creating, it was creating chaos. It was absolutely chaos because they couldn't get the kids and everything else. And I'm laughing because wait until you hear this, what I did. So now the attendance lady is trying to get over the walkie-talkie to try to get Brielle. Brielle's not in her classroom, so they couldn't call through the phone system. So they had to call the walkies because she's in lunch, and other people are trying to talk, and everybody's asking on the walkie while phones are ringing, is your internet down? Did you lose internet? Did you hear internet? And like 15 times I heard internet. So I go to the attendance lady. The assistant principal walks in, and now like the secretary's over to the right. And I said, it's kind of funny, all. I actually do a motivational show on this exact thing here about how what happens when the internet goes down, and we're an instantaneous society, and how just complete chaos crumbles because we don't have the internet. And it's just funny how it just is a ripple effect of across the place. And they're like, they're now looking at me. They're like, huh? I said, yeah, isn't it funny? Just the smallest little thing creates chaos. And when we have chaos, it is not until this very moment that we realize we don't have a plan. And we don't have a system set up to be able to handle this when this goes down. So this just shows a form of weakness that I would just put together. And as I'm saying this all, so now the secretary comes over. The assistant principal stopped in her tracks. She turns around. She's looking at me. And what are the chances that a real estate agent that used to be on my team pops up because she's picking up her child, and she goes, "Oh no, is he all preaching to you all? Is he all preaching to you?" And I looked over. I said, "Jennifer, you better believe it. You better believe it right here." I said, because in my head, I'm like, we just don't have patience. We are a microwave society, all that we want instantaneous results. And we struggle with this. We want the money. We want the fame. We want to be able to do whatever it is that we need to do. But I want you to write this down, because here's number one. Waiting isn't wasted, it's preparation. Waiting isn't wasted, it's in preparation. See, the school wasn't prepared for that. They didn't have a plan. When you don't have a plan, Mike Tyson used to say, I can't remember exactly, but life's going to hit you in the mouth. Everybody thinks they're ready until they get hit in the mouth. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, snap. I wasn't ready for that punch, that strength, that power. And sometimes we need to reflect and look at that. We need to be able to see that. So in the preparation, see, God isn't making you feel broken. It's part of the process. You have to be broken before you get to the blessing. It's just all part of the process. We just want the blessing right away. Yes or yes. We just were like, just give it to me, please. I've worked hard. I deserve this. And see, we have to understand that there's a reason for the delay, which gets me to number two. Number two is delay doesn't mean denial. The delay doesn't mean denial. We sometimes confuse his timing with his intention. See, his intention doesn't change. It's just his timing. See, when nothing happens, that's when the divine development is taking place. It has to go through this. Just like a banana. A green banana doesn't taste as good as a nice yellow banana, now does it? But we want the banana because we're hungry, but it's not ready yet because it's not ripe. And so we have to wait for it. Now, here's one of my favorite ones, number 3, is transformation happens in the waiting. Put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat. How many of you are different today than you were 365 days ago? How many of you are a different person today than you were 5 days ago? I know Michelle has, Jackie, Bethany, Karen, Stephanie, Jada, Sherry, those that I could see on here, those of you in the Facebook world. Because a transformation took place. And is it fair to say during your transformation, life wasn't completely blissful for 365 days? You'd be like, man, I've had a great 365. Everything's been perfect. See, in this transformation, one of my favorite animals when I talk about transformation is the infamous butterfly. Because in the time period that the butterfly transforms, it is a small little 100-foot caterpillar that is on the ground that has to make its way into the cocoon. And in order, before it gets to the cocoon, it has to nonstop eat and feed itself. And many of us here need to feed ourselves, or we're in continuous feeding. But here's the thing, all. I want you to picture this. This is important for the visual. You see the cocoon. You're like, wow, look at the cocoon. How many of you remember, like in science class, 3rd grade? I remember it. We put it in a jar. We put grass in it. Did the teacher ever say, hey, let's just open the cocoon a little early and let's feed it? Let's help it out. Maybe the cocoon needs light. Maybe the cocoon needs water. What would happen if we did the cocoon too soon? Would the butterfly still be the butterfly? if you actually look it up in science, you would kill the butterfly. Blessings happen too soon. God knows will cause problems for you. You're not ready yet. You're not prepared for it. In Romans 12, chapter 2, it talks about don't rush the process. You're being remade for what's next. See, when I was completely broken, it's very easy to notice the puzzle pieces and the dismantlement and the disarray and the chaos. How many of you seen crumbles and rumblings and sawdust and everything else? At one point, that sawdust was a tree. But when I was crumbled and broken, I used to say, you know what? I'm going to be built different this time. I'm going to be a little bit different this time. I'm being prepared. I'm going to be rewired. I'm going to be built stronger than I was the first time around. And that's what happens. You have to be broken before the building. Number 4, God is working behind the scenes. He's aligning opportunities and resources. Many times I get bent out of shape when I go and I'm just like, okay, I need to go. And the slow person is in front of me. You ever recognize that? There's a slow person or there's a traffic or something else is taking place. And little did I know, if I was just there 2 minutes early, that probably would have been my car. Not like I wish anything negative about that person, but it helps me with my patience when people aren't moving and things aren't going. I'm like, you know what? God's got something else bigger than for me that I just need to have patience right here because he's working behind the scenes. When somebody is removed from my life, a loved one, a family member, a close, a relationship, a coworker, God is making room for somebody else. Was I a little bent out of shape when Derek Green shared with me some of his stuff and things didn't go the way that I was just like, whoa, man, I thought we were brothers. And for some of you don't know the situation. But I kept saying to myself during the time period, God is opening the door for somebody else to lead this group, Brock. If that doesn't happen, a new leader doesn't present itself. And that is why we're interviewing people and why we're reaching out and learning to see who's going to be the person that God wants to be on this show to enlighten you and help you. Number 5, waiting is in the classroom. Waiting is in the classroom. God teaches patience, faith, and endurance through the silence. How many of you can't stand, I just love it. I do this on purpose to people. Awkward silence, awkward pauses. Oh God, they haven't said anything. I better say something. It always happens in real estate too. They didn't say anything about my commission. Oh yeah, I'll do a discount. Yeah, I'll discount it. Yep. Not a problem. Oh yeah, I'll do that. Yep. Or we ask a question. This drives me crazy. People ask a question and then they don't respond. I mean, could you, maybe they're thinking. So in this moment, you have to have the patience and the faith to be able to understand that God is working on us. When I say, God, give me more patience, he's not going to give me things right away. How can I work on my patience then? When I understood that and somebody says, well, Brock, what do you pray for? No joke. This is what my mentor said. He says, what do you pray for? And I gave him all my stuff that I was praying for. And he says, what are your challenges? And of course, I was like, blah, 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 blah. He's like, well, how is God going to work on these challenges if he gives them to you right away? That's not going to make any sense now. Which gives me to number 6. Waiting requires courage. It is easy to act. Good or bad, it is very easy to act. We can make some movement, we can act. What is hard is to stay in faith. What is hard is to keep on going forward in that hamster wheel and staying in the same course. Now, you all know, unfortunately, I'm a New York Jet fan, and we're 0-5, the only 0-5 team in the NFL. And I listen to every one of his press conferences because I'm one of those crazy people. But you know what he says when he's 0-5 and he's been saying it this week? He says, just got to keep the course. We got to keep the course. Why does he say we have to keep the course? Is because he's seen what it looks like on the other side. Because if he alters, changes, or goes in a different direction, he knows that that is God's way of testing his strength. Let me just see how strong you are, buddy. See, he didn't play, he coached for the Detroit Lions. You're my Detroit Lion fan. He had Titans, right? In the losing, guys, it's easy to celebrate in the winning. It is in the losing where we are tested. In the waiting period that God puts faith inside of us to say, like, let me just test his faith. Let me just see how much he's going to really show up and shine. Strength is built by trusting when nothing seems to move. And that comes from Psalms 27, verse 14. When we're idle, when we're staying, it's like, whoa, what the hell's going on? And we got to wait. Imagine a sailboat and we're waiting for the wind and we're just out there in the middle of the water. Number 7, God changes your circumstances. I'm sorry, before God changes your circumstances, he changes you. Before God changes your circumstances, he changes you. God focuses, I wrote this, I highlighted this, so I want to make sure I read it right. God focus is not just on what you are waiting for, but who you are becoming. It is the process. Jim Rohn says making $1 million isn't the result, is not the reward. Christian used to listen to Jim Rohn all the time. If you haven't listened to Jim Rohn, I strongly suggest you need to listen to him. It's not the $1 million. It is not the end game that is the most reward. It is the process of the person you are becoming during this time period. It is, as I shared with you earlier, is you have to trust the process while you're going through the progress. That's what it's all about. So when things don't happen and show up, it's just like, all right, I just got to have patience. I got to have faith that there's something else coming, but I got to show up. Number 8, active waiting is faith in motion. Active waiting is faith in motion. Waiting is just not sometimes being still all. It's journal writing. It's doing our affirmations. It's showing up. It's reading. It's watching videos. It's paying it forward. It's checking in with somebody. It's how you doing. It's saying, hey, Jesse, how are you? I saw you on the show this morning. Jennifer, how are you? Millie, how are you? What do you got going on? Dawn was thinking about you. Bethany, just want to see how you're doing today. That's helping somebody else out that might be having a challenging day. That is active waiting. Number 9, God rewards faithful endurance. Number 9, God rewards faithful endurance. Yeah, shout out to Justine. Happy birthday, Justine. See, I pay attention to chats. Faithful consistency. See, sometimes we pray when we need something. When we need to alter that and understand that the endurance to when they say that you're going to run 26 miles, you just don't go out. For all my marathon runners out here, correct me if I'm wrong. You're not gonna be like, you know what? I got to run a marathon. I'm just going to do a quick 26 miles today and I'll be right back. I just got to prepare for it. No, it is doing small increments to prepare you for the big event. It is preparing your endurance. I can't remember the exact line, but it was saying something like that the last mile of any marathon or any run will test your why. The last mile of any run, the last steps, the last part of any run you do will test your why. And number 10, turn waiting into worship. Turn waiting into worship. Waiting is not a punishment. It's just part of God's process. From Romans 12:12, it says this. I wrote down, gratitude, prayer, and community help sustain you in the delay. Gratitude, prayer, and community. This is what this is all about, is a community. God is not preparing you. God is not just preparing the promise for you. He's preparing you in the promise. See, when I was struggling and I was going through some hard times, I had the mindset of just saying everything is happening to me. Because in the moment, it's very challenging because you do feel like everything is happening to you. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's going through a really challenging time period, and we were doing a lot of moving around, and he's like, I just need to talk. And I said, bud, let me just tell you, brother, all this stuff, basically, I said, all this shit's happening to you, man. You're going to help somebody else out. That is why I'm able to talk today to you, because I've been in it. I get it. And so I want you today, all, I encourage you all that understand that this waiting is God's way of creating a bigger version of you, a better version of you, a version you can't even imagine. Never in my lifetime would I ever thought I'd be going to the Philippines. Ever. The only part I heard about the Philippines was my dad when he went out there in the Navy. You know, of course, you want to tell me some stories. Oh, Brock, let me share with you my Philippine stories. Dad, all right, I don't need to know your stories. So, what I like y'all to do, okay, is I want you guys, I'm going to ask my VAs to come on, and I wanted to share something with you all. So, as I transfer, I told them, I said, I wanted them to come on here and I wanted to share it with you. And some of you might be like, wait, what? What are we doing? One is they're completely very, what can I say? When you bring somebody on Zoom for the first time ever, and they're normally behind the scenes over here because they still haven't showed their faces yet, but they're a little uncomfortable, but I wanted them to be uncomfortable because I, just like anything else, I coach my team, my family here. I'm making them feel uncomfortable. But when I asked them this question and I said, guys, I'm coming over there and I want to do something for your community. What is something that you hold dearly? So I'm going to write this down. I want you guys to write this down. What can you do in your community? What can you do in your community that can help in some capacity in some way? So I do a lot of things here in the United States. I do a lot of things with children and feeding. So I work with the hunger and the kids because I always like to eat. And I was blessed that my parents always gave me food, but there's a lot of kids who go away hungry and they don't have kids. And so I said, well, what do you hold dear to your heart? What are some things that you have? And out there in the Philippines, for those of our pet lovers, they're really close to their animals. And there's a lot of challenges out there with their animals, and being a dog lover and a pet lover. For those of you who aren't pet lovers, well, maybe you could just, you know, throw a couple bucks our way to help them, because that's what this whole process, this is what this goal is I want to help them raise money for their animals because they hold true to them. And so they have some dogs and some cats, and I always see them in the background. And we're asking for donations of $25 or $50. And I told him, I said, I'll ask them. I mean, this is what this community is all about. And Jay's going to put a link in here that if you have in your heart 25 or $50 that you can spare to give to Jay and Rica, who are on the show every freaking day, that we can pour into them today and to help them. But I'm going to ask Rica first, because Rica is like, oh gosh, here we go. Because she was paranoid yesterday. Look at her. She's so cute.
So
So
good morning,
Rica,
guys.
she was asking me, she's like, what questions are you going to ask me? So I'm going to give you the exact same question I asked you.
Yeah.
What is it when I asked you all, what can I do to help you all? What does that mean to you? And you guys brought up your animals and your pets. Share with us, so because a lot of they don't know. Tell us a little bit about why you said your pets and what you see over there in your country.
So yeah, I grew up in the countryside. So here in the Philippines, we call it province. So I grew up there I stayed there for like 16 or 17 years. So yeah, we had a lot of pets. And when I just say pets, it don't just mean dogs and cats. So we had peacocks, pigs, ducks, pigeons, and birds. So a lot, like, and my mom and dad really love animals. So but one thing that I can still remember till now was when I was 4, we had a dog. His name was Mejas. So Mejas is a Tagalog, Filipino term for socks because his color is color black, whole body is black, and his feet were white. So we called him Mejas. So yeah, we go to my sister's preschool with him. So our mom leave us with our dog, Mejas, and then we will go home together with him. Just the three of us, my sister, I, and our dog. So yeah. And then a year after, when it was my turn to go to preschool, our that dog died because we don't know what illness he suffered, but yeah, that's my most memorable experience. We don't have any means to bring our pets to vet whenever they have a sickness like that. So our dog just died, and then it continued, and years passed. Our parents still foster dogs because there are some um, people there in the province in countryside that eats meat like dog and cat. So they just try to save these animals and foster it in our home. So yeah, that's how animals mean to me. It means a lot to me, and my world wouldn't be this happy or complete without animals. So yeah, that's my short story
I love it,
of
Rika. Guys, put it,
animals.
you guys know exactly. First of all, we got the link that's in the chat to the right there. But you know I'm gonna ask you to put a 5 in the chat for her because she was nervous as can be to be able to share that story.
Yes,
And
and
you
this
think
is
about it, it's a different language for
yeah.
her. You
Yes,
know, here's
sir.
I'm just always amazed at the language that they speak and just, being able to understand and articulate and to be able to share that story. So, guys, we're really reaching out. I want to do something special for these people. If you get a wild hair and you want to do more than $50, I will not get upset with you. Jay, make sure we put that link back in the chat. We're gonna put it on our Facebook. But they do. They don't have medicine. They don't have the
Mm,
food. We take it all for granted here in the United States. All like we just take things for granted that the lights are going to turn on. There's going to be food at the grocery store. You're going to go to the vet. There's going to be a doctor. We get bent out of shape when the
mm.
doctor does like, oh, I can't. Okay, we don't have an appointment for a day. Like they don't have an appointment ever. I'm just going to ask Jay real quick. I know we're running out of time here, but I just want to get Jay on the mic. Jay, do you have anything that you would like to share with us in reference to your? I know you got some amazing pets. We see Corky. She's got a cute little cat that comes across the screen. We always see, but share with us a little bit about, anything that you have and what it means to you.
Yeah, hello
And guys,
everyone.
Jay's my 3-year vet. She's been with me the longest. So give her a
Wow.
shout out. She's awesome.
Thank you, sir. Hello everyone. So put a 5 in the chat if it's your first time to see our faces. Just kidding. Oh yeah, we're real people, we're human. We're not
We're not
AI.
AI.
Okay, so I'll just add something on what Rika said. It's just elaboration on our drive on this. So we are focusing on helping the solo rescuers here in the Philippines. So they don't have like the support from the government. So they use their own money to support these neglected animals. If you can, I can just screen share, sir, for a quick so they can see all the animals
Mm,
that they are helping. Oh, sorry. Wait. Give me a few. I'm so sorry, guys. All right.
she's she's seen behind the scenes speaking and trying to engage all at the same time.
So,
We're not nervous. We're not
so the spot. So yeah. Okay. So here are some of the animals that they are trying to help. These are neglected animals that are basically living on the streets, scraping for food. Some of them are being left on the road. So yeah, these are just a few of the animals that they are helping. So it will be a really big help if you can join us in helping these solo rescuers. your donation, how small or big, it will really help provide food, medicine, vet care, and just a bit of relief for their everyday tasks. So I really appreciate for those everyone who will help us with this drive. So
Well,
yeah.
ladies, I appreciate you both, and I know this family here is going to support. And you know, I wasn't a dog person, all, and when Leo came, he's melted my heart. And maybe you're not a animal person, but there are some, when you have people who want to help in some capacity, in some way, and they don't have the means. And guys, when I say 25 or $50, like I asked them, I said, well, how far, like, what is that worth? And they're like, oh, sir, you have no idea how much money that would be for us. Like, it's a huge difference, all. And I'm learning about it when I go over to the country and I'm like looking at prices and things. It's a different world. And so I just really, I appreciate you all for listening in with us. I thank Rika and Jay for coming on and going through this uncomfortable moment that they had. I thought they did awesome. You guys have been phenomenal for me in this group and this event. People are always like, how do you do 255 shows? Like, I have to have an amazing group of people around me. And it starts with Rika and Jay and everything that they do. So if this is something that you can share in mind, put in some money towards it, we greatly appreciate it. And it's gratitude for all the work that they did, if anything at all. So really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so very much, ladies. We'll continue to put the donations in the chat, so if you guys can click the link, and we'll also put it on our Facebook group. So thank you, ladies. All right, everybody. It is that time of the day. We are going to go. I appreciate everybody spending a little extra 8 minutes with us. God bless you all. Thank you so much for all those that put the donation in. If you're able to, we'll have it on the chat over for till the next. I leave on October 18th. So we will put it out there for anybody to donate and push out or to help these ladies on their cause. And I'll be excited. We'll take pictures of you when I submit the check to them and share with them when I'm over there in the Philippines. So till then, God bless you all. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Wednesday, fun day. Who do we have Wednesday? We have Jim Morris. Jim Morris will be here tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern time. Till then, God bless you all. Stay safe. Thank you so much for your donation. Thank you, ladies. See ya.